How do you manage performance? A large part of a manager's role is to regulate team members' performance. It's about creating an environment in which they can thrive, that they can do their best and produce excellent work. Now, when I mention managing performance or performance management, the first thing that comes to mind is a negative thing. Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you some strategies and some tools to be able to take away and to use. What we're talking about is being proactive when it comes to managing performance from your team rather than being reactive, which is performance management because there is an issue. Look, at the moment, there are quite a few considerations to think about. Working from home, team members, how do we communicate, and all of that noise that is associated with onboarding and exiting and probation. So today we're going to be talking about some strategies in which you can get the best out of your team members in the current environment. So let's get to it. Let's look at the strategies. So the first strategy we got, and look, some of this really could be pretty simple. It's around setting objectives. It's around sitting down, whether it is at the start of the year, the start of the quarter, maybe it's every 6 months, to sit down, have a discussion with your direct report or your team member to go, hey, these are the objectives that I want you to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months or the next year. You have to make sure that they're aligned to the overall company strategy, that it gives them some autonomy and some purpose, and the ability to manage their own objectives. Okay, so it's really important. Number two, it's around articulating the expectations. So we said the number one, it's around the what. This is what I want you to do. And now we're talking about the how. Okay, and these are the behaviors. So from this is how I want you to dress, how to turn up. This is how you talk to customers, your team members. These are the non-negotiables when it comes to turning up on time or your behavior within the workplace. Really important to articulate that. A lot of times when I talk to managers, it's around this one here, the second one. It's around they don't articulate the expectations because we just assume people have been in the workplace a long time. They know how to behave. Wrong answer. We need to paint this really pretty clear in black and white to make sure we keep everyone aligned. If you don't do that, that's when we have to come to that performance management conversation. So number three, you need to track and monitor. So yes, we set our objectives, KPIs, OKRs, our key performance indicators, whatever that is for your business, but then we need to track them and we need to monitor them. It needs to be some sort of visual representation as well. Over 60% of the population are visual, so they want to see it. And when you do this, you can do it in a team spreadsheet, for example, so other people can see how they're measuring up against their peers. A really good way for motivation. We'll talk about that in another video. Number four, it's around giving feedback. So we've tracked it. We're monitoring their performance. Maybe the objective that we set is a bit too easy. So we need to give them a bit of feedback. Maybe we need to readjust it. 68% of staff receive zero performance feedback in the workplace. And that was done by a recent survey by Gallup. And it was on previous video, 68% of staff. So just by setting out these simple things and giving feedback, you're already ahead of the game. And number five, it's around recognizing and rewarding good performance. Now, if you do that, then your team members are more likely to carry out that behavior again, to get to that objective or that goal that you've set. Again, if you don't do that, then you're not actually motivating them to do what you want them to do. Okay, so you have to train your staff to be able to execute the way that you want them to do. Okay, now, yes, all well and good. Here are the strategies. Well, how do we actually implement that within the day-to-day? Let's have a look at the mechanism. So we have our performance discussions. A lot of companies at the moment, they're doing their performance appraisal on a yearly basis. With a 6-month check-in. What I'm talking about here, have your performance discussion at the start of the year, and then you need to then have a regular conversation within your one-on-one. So, how you're tracking towards your objective, because sometimes we can set them and then forget them. And then before you know it, it's come to the end of the year and we're sort of assessing people against their objectives and they're not meeting them. So they can't get a pay rise. And you want to give people pay rises because you want to keep your staff happy and you want to reward the performance that they're that they're putting in. To have that performance discussion. The one-on-one conversations are really critical. I've got another video on that. You can check it out. Within your team meetings as well, this is an opportunity to go, hey, how is everyone tracking? What have you done since our last meeting 2 weeks ago or a month ago? How are you tracking? What are the issues, concerns, and problems? Get them to present it, because now they've got ownership over the task or the objective they want to achieve. The fourth one, integrate it within a development plan. And then you can discuss that within your one-on-one discussion, and it can be incorporated within the annual performance discussion, right? So it's around, where do you want to get to? Let's document that. What skills would you like to improve? If you would like to be a CFO, well, what are the really non-negotiable skills? Okay, let's see if we can put in number 5, some projects. To enable you to develop that skill, that competence, that confidence, maybe to be able to get to the next level, if that's what they wish. Now, it's not business as usual. What I find the difference is a project has a definitive start date, has a definitive end date, and there are some deliverables. If projects become business as usual, it becomes blurred, and there isn't that opportunity to give feedback or for them to report back, hey, this project was successful because of that. They can then present that within the team meeting, and then they feel a sense of autonomy, and like we mentioned at the start, of them taking ownership over what they said that they're going to do. And because of that, they're going to feel more motivated and want to be part of your organization. Now, look, here's the bottom line. Your team members, they want clarity. What we know about clarity, if you don't have clarity, you have uncertainty. Uncertainty leads to stress. Stress manifests itself in negative ways more often than not. When people are stressed or uncertain, they're not going to be producing their best work because they don't feel psychologically safe. They don't feel part of the organization or your team. So it's really important to set those objectives, be really clear about it, monitor and track, give them feedback, and then just reward and recognize.